right? How am I looking? Am I looking nice? I think I'm looking nice. I am making a beef stew and I'm gonna have it with challah. Is that challah? Challah bread. And as soon as I get this out of the bag, you're gonna see how nice it's shaped. Now, I read online that the beef stew goes nicely with challah bread because the challah bread is sweet, or has a mild sweetness to complement the savoriness of the beef. So we are going to have that today. So I'm just peeling my potatoes now. Probably should have peeled them before, but I was busy washing up a pot. I probably shouldn't turn my face away from the camera. So let me come over here and peel on my cutting board. And I am so thankful for potato peelers. These little devices are heaven sent, right? Or the universe sent them to bless our lives. They're so useful and so fast. And I should have put my sleeves up better, because touching my sleeves while cooking, my sleeves are clean, but then my hands are gonna mess my sleeves up. So anyhow, peeling these potatoes as fast as I can. And I'm going to do my stew in my instant pot. So it's going to be really easy. But first I gotta brown my beef. I'll show you my beef in a minute. The beef is already cubed, cleaned and cubed. I bought it like that. Just bought the pack in a packaging like that, and that's about that. I'm gonna have to wash these potatoes when I'm done because they're a little bit dirty. So I got 4 potatoes there. I think I need more. So I'm just gonna ask Sean to bring me some while I stay on camera, so as not to, leave you guys without my presence. So thank you, Sean. 2 more is perfect. Seems perfect to me. So I got some carrots here. I'm just gonna scrape the carrots. Turn the camera a little bit and see if I can scrape the carrots right here in your sights. This doesn't need too much scraping. And we're gonna rinse all of these when we're done. Alright. So it's what date is it, Sean? It's the 4th of December. And it's kind of chilly out. It's been raining for like 2 whole days here in Arizona. Not constantly, but on and off. So it's a bit cool. It's nice though. And you want to eat something that warms you inside out, like a stew. A stew will do. So I'm making a stew. Peel another potato here. I'm trying to do it as fast as I can, and then I'm going to go ahead and brown the beef, as I said. That's like searing the meat in a pot, like with hot oil. I'll put a little bit of olive oil in the pot and sear the meat, and that's called browning. But you also have a mixture that you can add with a brown color, and this just gives that signature dark kind of roasted look to the stew. So we're gonna add some browning after we sear the meat in some olive oil. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my meat. And see, it's cubed, and this is from Trader Joe's, and I like their meat, I like their chicken, I like their cubed beef. I just enjoy the taste of more organic meat. So I'm gonna call Sean in because I can never figure out. I have 2 instant pots, love instant pots, and I can never figure out which one fits in which. So Sean, if you could help me, please. But before you do that, Sean, get all this potato skin over into the container, preferably into that one. Is it dripping? Is the bag dripping? So you get this. I have some over here. Give me that, please. I'll just clean up the work area, and then I can resume with browning my meat in the pot. Let me get my extra virgin olive oil. I have some extra virgin olive oil here to sear the meat. And my potatoes and because I didn't set up this camera work so well, I should have just made Sean hold the camera, but the placement is fine right now, so I'm not going to shift it around. What I'm going to do is ask Sean to rinse the carrots and the potatoes for me, and put the bottom in, especially when get some of these bottles away from here. Oh, this is my new fryer that I bought, oil fryer, and we're gonna do a meal and check out my fryer. Probably the meal after next. You can pass through. You're looking good for camera. That's my son, Sean. Okay, so Sean, put the pot in. Put the pot in, please, and then rinse these for me, please, so I can chop them up. And there is another cutting board under here. You have to take it out in the please. And give me that lavender looking knife. And we're done. So give me the other cutting board first. Thank you. I have my lavender knife. It's really good for chopping for me. Well, for slicing, not chopping. Chopping, a lot of wrist work, and I don't need a lot of wrist work. I might go over and just wash my hands right now because they are a bit dirty from the potato skin. Just put them on the surface over there, on the cutter, on the chopping board. Yeah. Okay. Potatoes are washed. Or rinsed. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up into some chunks. So I like to get my potato into 4. Don't run in the kitchen. I like to get my potatoes into like 4 quarters, if you may, and then I slice them the 4 quarters down into cubes. So 1 slice half, and then slice the halves into halves, then you get 4. And then I go like through the length of them, of those quarters, like 3 times. So that's how I like to do it for stew. If I'm cooking, putting the potato in with meat for gravy to just like make it kind of like mash out, I'll slice it into thin like circles. And I want you guys to see my little frilled shorts. I know, random moment, but yes, it's a fashion thing. So going ahead now and finishing up these potatoes. Then I'm gonna sear the meat real fast, real quick. Let me turn this on. And I like to dry whenever I wash my Instant Pot and have to use it right away. I dry the outside. It's very good for the motor on the inside. In Jamaica, in Patwa, we just say motor. But for the motor, I dry the outside of the pot and don't keep the liquid on it so that it, you know, affects the metal. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in and start it on saute so that the metal, the pot, gets hot. Now you could sear. The pot's ready. It's on. Not ready, but it's on. It's gonna start the heating process now. You could sear your beef in another pot and then move it over. And if you don't use an Instant Pot, it's fine. You just slow cook your beef. You probably have a slow cooker. The Instant Pot this is not an ad, by the way, but the Instant Pot has a slow cooker setting. It has a rice cooker setting. I really like the convenience of this pot. I'll show you the pot after I'm done. For those who don't know them. But so this is gonna get hot. I need it to get hot because when the water is in the pot, it's evaporating right now. That's good. When the water is in the pot and you add oil to the water, you get this big fizzle. You know, oil and water don't mix, and their rate of evaporation is different. So it's just a whole lot of activity going on when you add oil to water and apply heat. So I will wait for all the water to evaporate first before I add my oil to the pot. I'm gonna season the beef a little bit with some powdered seasonings. I'm draining out some bloody water there because of course it's meat, so you know what that is. Give it a little rinse. So I'm giving this a little rinse and squeeze here. For it to get all ready for me to apply the powdered seasonings to it. And this is really clean. It's just that it's more fresher meat, as I said. And again, that's not an ad. It's just where I prefer to buy my meat from. They say it's more organic, and I believe them. So I'm just gonna put some powdered seasoning on. I try not to put too much at first because this is a tomato flavored chicken bouillon. And I am very bad with French words. I'm terrible with French words. So if somebody could tell me how to pronounce is it bouillon? You go ahead and because I only learned some Spanish in school, and when you see double L's in Spanish, they sound like Y. So that's why I said bouillon, yawn. I made a Y sound, but I don't think this word is Spanish. I think it's French. So that wasn't right of me to say it like that. So anyhow, the pot is hot enough. The water has evaporated. I put in a little bit of olive oil into the pot, and I'm gonna sear the meat, but I'm gonna put some browning on it. And I usually rinse my bottles after I touch them like this because they're plastic. I rinse them. So here's the meat. And I didn't use any gloves. I don't like how gloves feel that much. I wash my hands a lot, and I hand wash dishes a lot too. That helps me keep my really hot. So I'm not gonna put too many pieces into the pot at once. But washing dishes a lot to me, hand washing, helps me keep my hands cleaner. Get under my nails and stuff like that. So not putting a lot of your beef in to the pot at once helps you to sear the meat and give it that kind of crisp outside without it kind of broiling in the pot, because it has juices in it, and if it's crowded in a pot, then all those juices are gonna simmer the meat, and you're not gonna get the texture that you want on the outside of the meat that way. So it's best to put less in so they have more space in the pot for the oil. The surface area of the meat is going to be exposed to the oil for the frying effect to take place. And instead of juices, which is basically water from the inside of the meat, the juices won't get to boil the meat, to broil it. The oil will get to fry it, And I think that's how frying looks. Frying is singeing, right? It dries it out a bit. So that's why I'm like that, contracting. If it boils, it's gonna be like not. It's gonna be blue. I gesticulate a lot. Okay. They say like 2 minutes on each side. So I'll get something to put the meat into. I'm gonna scoop it up in a minute and put the meat in. And then I'm gonna do the second batch. And then I'm gonna put everything in and cook it down. I should probably cut my carrots right now. So what I'm going to do is get another bowl for the potatoes. Okay. I'm gonna get the other bowl, this bowl, just to clear my space here so I can chop my carrots, because I don't have much space on the cutting board to chop carrots because of all this potato. I gotta chop some scallion. I think I should take this out now. Chop some scallion, some onions, and that's about it. I'm gonna add some dried thyme. I'm not a master chef, so I can make sounds with my mouth, but I'm not chopping that fast. One day I shall become a master chef. Until then, okay, I'm gonna take these out. And you can see they look. And it smells aromatic in here. The beef smells great. Kind of sucked the oil up a bit. And I don't want to use too much because it's going to pass it back out when I stew it. So, and because this is like a lot of beef, I think I'm going to do it in 3 parts. Let me show you that. Ooh, look at that, right? Brown. Like me. So I'm gonna do this in 3 parts. This searing of the meat. So this is the last bit left. I'll do that in a few minutes. Alright, just gotta give you a little pause. I suppose I gotta do a little pose for my girls and bros. I'm gonna say for my hoes for gardening, but I didn't bother to say for my gardening hoes. Yes, this is exciting and I'm thirsty. Oh my gosh, my throat is so dry. Sean, come give me some water, please. I am so thirsty, people. I was trying to do a little, and my voice is just like, nah. Why? My water bottle is in the room, please. I want it for my water bottle because it has the sippy straw, and I don't even have to touch it. You can just hold it, and I get my sippy straw. You can, yeah. Yay, water. Like an athlete. Yes, thank you. It was very refreshing. Or as one of my co-workers, my former co-workers would say, that was very freshing. Thank you. That was freshing. She didn't bother with a prefix re. She was just like freshing is a word by itself, you know. The water felt freshing. No need for a prefix. And quite honestly, I don't know if she was wrong. Okay, I have some scallions here. I'm gonna give them a little quick rinse, and then I'm gonna chop them. Alright, here we go. Put this over here. Oh, those are quite brown right now, so I'm just gonna hurry up and take those out. And it's really nice smelling. It is. And I recorded this upright like this. I don't know if YouTube will change it for me, because I know that like when you, this is a really small piece, so like I think it's really well done. I'm getting hungry. And that was really good. So, and then my last piece is here. Doing my last pieces. This beef is excellent. Oh my gosh. We're getting a little stuff at the bottom. That's good. because you're gonna stew in it. So it's gonna boil everything. Get that up, get all that flavor up and stuff to the bottom. So, we got some carrot and scallions. We got some potatoes. We have some dried thyme leaves that we're gonna add. It's gonna be lit. We got some pepper. So just chop this pepper up right now. Chop this baby up. I'll give you a pause for the bros and the gardening hose. Nice. Lost a piece of pepper. I will dig it out in a minute. So just for a pop of color, I'm gonna add some of this in here just to give you guys an eye-popping experience before I drop it into the pot. What? Sean, you need to take a picture of me with this right now. Come. Post on the gram and on the Facebook page. That was a long pause, right? Alright. Oh, I poured all of this in there. And it looks great. I'll take the camera up soon enough, people. Just trying to give you guys a still experience, still camera experience, you know, of the glam. I don't know why I want to play hating on the glam. So I was reading the meaning of glamorous today, and I think the definition was me. So that part. So I'm gonna add to this some Worcestershire. This is not Worcestershire. Sean, the Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Over on the table. We have one up here? Is there one up here? Yes. So get the one up here first. Okay. Thank you. So it's good to add some Worcestershire. Worcestershire. How you pronounce it, Sean? Worcestershire. I cannot pronounce it. So you add some of this thing to your stew. Gives it a good flavor. And you don't even have to know how to pronounce the name to add this. I'm not advertising. This is a thing. And many people white label it. Many different companies. Okay. So add some of that. I'm going to add some thyme leaves. And some wine. They said add some wine. So I'm going to add some wine. I have some Stella Rosa. Okay. It's Stella. It's really, really good. But I'm going to use some. Okay. Let me get my thyme leaves first. Add some saffron. I got some saffron here. I didn't know that I had some saffron left. I didn't put my onions in. I should put my onions in. I should chop my onions real fast too. So onion can be a bit nauseating, and I think I can sense that, even though I love the onion flavor. So I try to not use too much onion anymore in my meals because I don't want to feel nauseated. For my dry thyme leaves, so I'm going to add some of that, some thyme leaves to my meal here. And again, I'll show you guys soon I'm gonna get a wine from the fridge, but I'll ask Sean so that I can stay in the camera and you guys can be happy to see me. So Sean, can you? Oh, a piece of carrot jumped right out the pot. What? Some Stella Rosa. Thank you. What are you looking for? That's good. Some Stella Rosa. I'm gonna add some to. Okay, I added a little Stella Rosa. So, to the pot. Sean, you should come take a picture of me with the pot over here from that side for the gram and for the Facebook page. So go over that side and take. Can you see the pot? It looks good. You guys are gonna see it soon. Okay, so I am gonna show you guys inside the pot right now, and then I add the other stuff. Ooh, oh yeah, I can turn the camera around. Ooh, look at that! With the wash sauce and the wine. So far, this is what I got. Okay, that's what we got so far. So I'm just gonna finish this stew up. I added some onion. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. Garlic powder. You know, you put your spices in. Oh, I'm gonna add some paprika also. And garlic is a natural vasodilator. Opens up your blood vessels, or causes dilation of them. So for people with low blood pressure or stuff like that, like me, I try not to use too much of it too. And again, I love the taste of garlic. You also have to watch your intake of garlic when you're on certain medications. And I want to taste another piece of beef, but I won't right now. I'll put some more thyme leaves in. And then I'm going to put the paprika. Sean, you see the paprika? I brought some bags with stuff. Paprika was in it. Two seasoning things. They're flat. Yeah, that's a bay leaf. Paprika. Thank you. I got paprika. And again, there's no advertisements here, no advertising. Just brands that I picked up. Okay, put some paprika in. Oops. Yeah. I was like, oops, it's too much, but I don't think it's too much. Okay. I stir this all in. I'll test it, and then I'm gonna add water and let it stew down. Let it stew. So I'm gonna add some pepper that I have here. It's cayenne. Usually people add chili powder, but I just have cayenne pepper. I like the flavor of cayenne. It's not too hot. I think it's a very, sorry about the tapping. I think it's a very good kind of flavor for pepper. So I like it. So I added some. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add some water. And I put some ketchup in mine because I like tomato. You should use tomato sauce. Tomato paste. Add tomato paste and then I'm gonna go off camera for a little bit. Look at in here if you see any tomato paste or tomato sauce or sauce. Yeah, just look through the stuff. Why are you coming over here before you look through over there? I told you to look in there. That's what I said. What's in that can? Not tomato? Uh-uh. Okay. We found some. Good. So then you add your tomato sauce. Or your tomato paste. Sorry, I'm off camera. But here, you know, I'm going to add some rich tomato paste to the concussion here. And try to remember your ingredients before you start your life. I'm going to show you how this looks in a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna just rinse this to get some more of the paste out. So I got tomato paste all over me. Tomato sauce. Okay. Give you guys another view of the pot in just a moment. And I'm gonna cover it up and let it stew. You might need a little more water, so I'm gonna do this first, show you guys. Add a little water, and then just gonna set it to stew. And show you the finished product in a bit. And I guess I'm just gonna do some food facts to keep the video going until the stew is done. It's YouTube live and it's not like there's much else to do except to stew. Alright. I'm just gonna go ahead and cover this. Oh, Sean, I don't know where the cover is. Give me a minute, Sean. Let me move. So, Guys, I recently had a cold, so I'm a bit. Huh? Let me see. It's been cooking a little bit, so yeah. Because it was cooking a little bit, right? Yeah. While I was there talking. And the beef is kind of tender. I tried it after I sauteed it. I seared it. It was really good. So it's locked tight. Yep. Did you turn the pressure on? Yeah. Okay. So we're pressuring it for 15 minutes because I was there cooking the beef for a while talking. Like a good 10 minutes, and I seared it before, so you know we don't want it overcooked and it's being pressurized, so shouldn't take that long. It's just potatoes and carrots, and we're gonna have it with that bread that I got. So Sean, if you could go over here, put the wine back and kind of clear that area up for me, please, that would be really lovely. While I tell the people about flavors, I'm going to need a computer or another phone. Maybe I'll take my computer. Sean can get my laptop for me and read some information. Sean, that's not locked. Sean? I am sorry, people. This boy does not put the covers on properly on anything. He just it's a corkscrew. You know, corkscrews are supposed to be screwed on. He just puts it on the top, doesn't corkscrew it. So I'll be reaching from the shelves and stuff be ready to fall into my face, into my eyes. It's not corkscrewed. The wine was supposed to be back in the refrigerator, I asked. Yeah, but the wine, I asked you to put it in the fridge. You finish what you're doing in the kitchen. No, you come back and do this. You come back and do this. You finish this. I'm teaching him how to be a responsible young man. It's a trying task because he doesn't want to be. But one day, when we all learn, right? We gotta be responsible. I bought some bay leaves, but I do not know where to put them. So I wanted to talk about the sense of taste. So I'm a 90s baby. Okay? And when I was growing up, they told me that we had 4 sets of taste buds on our tongue. We had sweet on the tip, sour and salty, bitter at the back. No, don't do that. Please don't hold it like that. Yeah. Thank you. He was holding the laptop from the right here. So, they told us that we had sweet at the tip of the tongue. We had salty and sour on the sides. And we had bitter at the back. Later on, I think I found out in 2017 that they had a new taste bud. I don't know when they discovered it. I didn't, but we can read now. And the taste bud was called umami because I think it was found by a Japanese guy. Do you know about this, Sean? It was a Japanese guy, right? Yeah. So they named it umami, and I really love that name for it. It's savory. You can just call it savory because savory is more distinct as a flavor. But I like the word umami because it's like a pun, you know. She made that food so good. Umami. Yeah, it's savory. I love the flavor. I love the flavor savory. It's my favorite flavor. Sweet. I love some sweet sometimes. I love my tea sweet. But for food, I will always be an umami girl. I love savory. So, I am going to read about this new flavor. And if you're a 90s baby, you remember they only taught you about the 4 flavors too. or the four taste buds. I was a science girl too, you know. So in science class back in the day, they only told us about four, and now we have five. So that's pretty cool. We can look at a diagram of the tongue. Let me just read a little history. When was the flavor umami created? Not created, discovered. I should have said discovered. Okay. Oh my gosh. It was discovered long ago. How did I not hear about this when I was a kid? Umami was discovered in 1908 by Professor Kikune Aikida, a chemist at Tokyo Imperial University. He noticed a particular savory taste in certain foods such as dashi, asparagus, cheese, tomatoes, meat that were neither sweet, sour, salty, or bitter. But I don't know why it was created in 1908. Why was I learning about only 4 flavors? I don't get it. Do you know, Sean? Okay, what's umami? What's that flavor? Exactly. So you got sweet at the tip of the tongue, salty and sour at the sides. Let me look at the diagram of the tongue. Taste bud diagrams. Okay, so we can look at the diagram here of it. And I really don't need my glasses to read. Actually, it bothers me to read with my glasses. Not to go off track, but I've been thinking about doing the surgery called LASIK. And for me, as a pharmacy technician, there is a brand of furosemide. The generic is furosemide, the potassium sparing diuretic. Helps you remove excess fluid from your body through urine or via the kidneys. But anyhow, the brand is called LASIK, and that's such a popular brand for furosemide that anytime I talk about LASIK for the eyes, I cannot unsee the potassium sparing diuretic. Okay, so the pot is just gonna begin pressuring the meat. So see, it's even extra time because it has to build up pressure, the instant pot. Anyhow, here we go. Look at the diagram of the tongue map. So sweet and salty. So salty is at the exact tip, and then sweet, and then sour, and then bitter. But you see, they don't even show umami on here. They're not recognizing it a lot of places, and I don't get it. I don't get what the flavor scientists are doing and why Mr. Aikida's discovery wasn't spoken of more back when I was younger and learning about flavors. I'll mute the sound on that laptop. So I don't understand it, but anyhow, umami is a flavor, and maybe in my next episode I will get to the bottom of it, why umami, the taste umami is not safe, the savory taste bud is not really, the fifth taste is not really highlighted as much as the four ones, you know, sweet, salty, sour, bitter. Why isn't umami or savory, the taste savory, more, you know, mentioned? Is it because, so I think they're saying that umami, from what I'm seeing just at a glance, is that umami is like a mixture of sweet and salty. So like it's not a standalone taste by itself. I think that's what they want to say. And I don't know. I don't know. We should read some more interesting stuff about food. Shouldn't we? Let's do a little history on stews, beef stew in particular. When and where did beef stew become popular? Let's ask Google. When and where did beef stew beef stew become popular? Let's see. Stews have been made since ancient times. The world's oldest known evidence of stew was found in Japan, dating to the Haman period. Wow, interesting. Okay. A stew is a combination of solid food ingredients that have been cooked in liquid and served in resultant gravy. A stew needs to have raw ingredients added to the gravy. Ingredients in a stew can include any combination of vegetables, may include meat, especially tougher meats suitable for slow cooking, such as beef, pork, lamb, poultry, sausages, and seafood. This is very good to know that the reason you use tougher meat, because I just started making stew because I had stew. I went to, where was the first place? Like I grew up having soup and not really stew in Jamaica. Soup. And soup is more, the liquid is more runny, right? I had stew here in America. And the first stew I fell in love with, it was actually at a museum. And the museum is called the Musical Instrument Museum, and it's here in Arizona. And I went there and we had lunch at their cafeteria. By the way, excellent cafeteria. Go to the Museum of Instruments, Musical Instrument Museum here in Phoenix. Go to that museum. If you're a museum fan, you gotta go. It's the second largest musical instrument museum in the world, and their cafeteria is bomb. Okay, the food selection is just beautiful. I had the stew, and I was like, oh, this is so good. I want to recreate it, and that's when I started cooking stew, and it was beef. And my first attempt at stew, my beef was really hard. Now I'm not slow cooking. And if you're making beef the real authentic way, you should slow cook. But I'm making this for dinner, so I'm pressurizing. And as I said, stews are made with tougher meats and any assortment of vegetable you want. So tougher meats are beef, pork, lamb, poultry, sausages, and seafood, like tougher seafood. You wouldn't be using fish because fish is so soft. You wouldn't be using chicken, you know? I don't think you'd be using liver. You'll get mush, not stew. So you use the tougher meat. And let's read more, some more. While water can be used as the stew cooking liquid, stock is also common. I didn't use stock, I just used water. But you could use beef stock, probably chicken stock. But if you're having beef, who knows, just go ahead with beef. But if you have chicken stock, you use chicken stock. So I just use some water and the tomato sauce, but you could use stock and that would add probably so much more flavor. But I also added paprika and a little wine to mine, so I should be getting good flavors. Okay, and I added that chicken bouillon with tomato flavor. So anyhow, a small amount of red wine is sometimes added for flavor. Seasonings and flavorings may also be added. Stews are typically cooked at a relatively low temperature, simmered, not boiled. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is, my temperature is mid right now. I'm going to turn it down even lower. And Sean, my trusty help, could you turn the heat down on the Instant Pot, please? You know what? No, I won't bother you. I'll do it. It's already at low? Couldn't go lower? Okay, so we already have it on low. That's good. Thank you, Sean. We have it on low setting, pressurizing. So you slow cook it, low heat. If you're slow cooking in a regular pot, if you're slow cooking in your slow cooker, I think, it's like preset what it should do. It already knows. Okay. Stews are typically cooked at a relatively low temperature, simmered, not boiled, allowing flavors to mingle. Stewing is suitable for the least tender cuts of the meat that become tender and juicy with the slow, moist heat method. So you could use the tougher bits of, say, you bought a whole piece of livestock, like you bought the whole butchered livestock. You can use the tougher pieces of that meat, that cow, that pig, lamb, to do in your stew, because you're gonna slow cook. You're gonna slow cook it, and it's gonna take longer, and the meat will get more tender. Again, if you're using your a pressure pot, it is going to cook with pressure, so then you don't have to worry too much either about that. Checking my steps here. Still didn't get that many in. Anyhow, stews, where are we? So your less tender cuts. This makes it popular in low-cost cooking. So stews are popular in low-cost cooking because you get to use the less tender cuts. They don't have to be a filet mignon cut. I had some filet mignon the other day. It was so tender. Chef's kiss. Okay, so it's low-cost cooking to make stews, and it's so warm and good. Cuts having a certain amount of marbling and gelatinous connective tissue give most juicy stews. Marbling, the fat within the layers of meat, the white, you can see like the white, off-white in between the meat. That's marbling. You call that marbling. And if you have some gelatinous connective tissue, that gives you some gumption, they call it in Jamaica, some stick-to-itiveness in the stew. While lean meat may easily become dry, so if the meat is so lean, it's gonna become dry. So this is why I like where I buy my beef from, because there's more marbling in the stew cuts than if I bought my beef at another place. So here we go. Stews are thickened by reduction or with flour. So now, when I was a kid, before I started chemistry, I just could not understand why they say they're gonna reduce the whole the gravy. And I was like, what do they mean? But then I went to chemistry class and I learned that oil rig. Oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. Still don't make any sense for a minute. Why are you calling it reduction if it's gain? No, I'm mixing up my memory. So it's when I started learning with chemistry that I was like, why do they say they're reducing the gravy if, yeah, I understand reduction is loss. No, sorry, oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. So why are they calling it reducing with the gravy? What is it getting when the gravy is getting less? When you're reducing, it's getting less. The volume is getting less. Why? So are they just reducing the volume? That should be plain to some people, but the way my mind works, reduction is gain. So I'm saying that the structures within, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother with that theory. I'm gonna leave that alone. You reduce the gravy. You get a volume done, it gets thicker. But the part where it gets thicker, that's the part where I said more bonds were created. More bonds were created between the solids. And I don't know how to prove it, like, but whatever you get after cooking the gravy, it gets thicker, gets stronger bonds. Or it's just because it lost volume, then the stuff just start to settle out. And that's why the gravy is so thick. That's it. It's not chemistry based as much as I want it to be, but it's 4 minute calling reducing a gravy reduction just bothered me. And that was off on a tangent a little bit, but hey, here we are. So you let it reduce, and it gets thicker. Your stew, if you let it reduce, evaporate, most of the water evaporates. But if you can't get enough of the water to evaporate in time for you to eat, or in time for you to just not have your food overcooked, you can add some flour to thicken the gravy. So what you can do here, they say you can cover the meat in flour before you sear it. Like I seared it in the olive oil. I did not cover it in flour. I'm thinking that my potatoes are gonna be mashed a little, and that's gonna thicken my gravy. And also a reduction where the reduced volume with the water vapors evaporating. Um, or by using a roe. Okay, we're ready. So we're gonna go over here. So we're letting out the extra pressure because it's a pressure pot. And there wasn't much excessive pressure in there because it's already ready to open. Ooh, and this thickness is perfect, people. You should see this. So I'm gonna shear some up and put it with the bread, and Sean and I can have some dinner. Oh, this looks good. Well, let me see. The potatoes are really standing firm here, so let's see if they're cooked. They should be cooked. They're potatoes for 15 minutes. They just held up very nicely. More than I'm used to. But then again, it's a different kind of potato. Sometimes I grab Idaho. And people, I'm gonna like have to pause my video and do a part 2. The revelation probably could be like 15 minutes long, but I gotta cook this some more because my potatoes just aren't soft enough for me. And to be honest, the meat, the meat is softer. But I want my potatoes softer. Yeah, they can all take some more preference. So I'm going to give this some more time. So I'll see you all soon. And maybe I should keep it going. You never know. Some people just want something to watch. And I can talk. Here, perfect. I'm going to give it a little more water. Oh. I forgot that I can see my text messages on my phone. So I'll come check if my text messages coming over to my phone. Because I'm getting texts and I see them on my phone, but I'm not seeing them on my... Yeah, so go. So here. And this want a little more time, Sean. Got to get the 30 minutes. The potatoes are... I'm going to put it back for 15 minutes more. Not getting it up?
I don't see no messages.
They're coming in on the phone. So what I am going to do is... Come on, lid. My lid won't close, people. Oh, I think the messages are coming from another app. That's why I'm at my phone now. That's why, Shannon, the app is not on there. Why won't it lock? What is wrong? Woo! That was a bit of work. Okay.
So it's not sent. Try again.
Sorry. So, people, we're pressure cooking for 30 minutes. Which sounds plausible for a stew. A stew should be slow cooked. Even if it's being pressurized, it still needs time. So, I am going to go... Oh, I should finish reading this wiki page. Okay. A dough consisting of equal parts of fat and flour. That's the roux. I don't know what it is. We'll have to look it up. Roux or puree mani. You can use that to thicken the stew. So when I come back, when I return, I'm gonna have information about that and also about my stew, how it looks, how it tastes. A dough consisting of equal parts of fat and flour is a roux or puree mani. Thickeners like cornstarch, potato starch, or arrowroot may also be used. Okay, that's what arrowroot is for. I saw arrowroot. I've been looking for cornstarch. Can't find any cornstarch. I saw arrowroot today, and I was like, what are they using arrowroot for? Here it is. It thickens gravy. I'm going to try arrowroot. Stews are similar to soups, and in some cases, there may not be a clear distinction between the two. I think soups are more watery, but sometimes your soup gets really thick for real, so. Generally, stews have less liquid than soups. Yeah, to me. Are much thicker and require longer cooking over low heat. While soups are almost always served in a bowl, stews may be thick enough to be served on a plate with the gravy as a sauce over the solid ingredients. So that's all we have about stew right now. When I return, it's gonna be the stew, how it tastes with the challah bread, and some information about roe and brie mani and how to pronounce them properly. So I'll see you guys in a bit. How do I end this live?